So it looks like Warner Brothers is planning to have their movies head back into theaters in 2022 in a way similar to how it was pre-pandemic. Let's talk about this. Hey everybody, Bloodmoon Bobby here. So yes, you heard right. It sounds like Warner Brothers is planning to release their movies back in theaters in 2022 in a way that's more similar to how it was pre-pandemic. So what's going on here is that their 2022 movies are going to have a theatrical release window of 45 days before they can hit streaming services and PVOD services, which so 45 days is half of the traditional release window, which is usually 90 days. Some of the specifics of this deal are still kind of murky to me. Engadget says that Regal Cinemas and Cineworld will show Warner Brothers movies first, while Vox said that they think it's reasonable to assume Warner has similar plans with other movie chains like AMC. So if you have some clarifications, you could let me know down below in the comments. But I think it is safe to say that Warner is planning a more traditional theatrical release strategy as of right now. And me personally, as somebody who lives closest to a couple Regal-owned movie theaters, like I live closest to a couple Edwards theaters, then this would mean that I would still be able to see Warner Brothers movies on the big screen in 2022. Now, in terms of why this news story is going out now, CNBC points out that Godzilla vs. Kong had the biggest box office opening of the pandemic, which to me is a sign that because they're thinking that as more and more people get vaccinated, they're going to be more willing to go back to movie theaters. So they're planning what they're going to do in 2022 when things possibly get safer. And I hope that it becomes a lot safer to go out by 2022, if not the end of the year. I still enjoy, especially seeing big budget movies in theaters, especially movies that could really take advantage of the big screen and that really incredible sound. I really do enjoy seeing those movies in theaters with friends, and hopefully I'll have the guts to ask them to see even more movies following the pandemic. And me personally, what I would like to start doing in or at least sometime after the pandemic, is seeing more award seasons movies on the big screen as well, not just big box office films, which I still do enjoy. A couple Warner Brothers movies that I got to see before the pandemic hit included Gareth Edwards' Godzilla and Blade Runner 2049, and those two movies were still great to see on the big screen. And in terms of what will happen to HBO Max, obviously the service isn't going away, but starting in 2022, because they're not going to have that thing where movies get released in both theaters and HBO Max for 30 days. In my opinion, in terms of what HBO Max has to do in order to compete with Disney Plus and Netflix, is that they're going to have to find content or shows and movies that could compete with something like a Mandalorian or a Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because I believe that's a big part of what's helping Disney Plus. And as much as I'm a believer in the idea of a streaming service should have a good mix of both third-party content, or at least like movies and shows from the past, as well as new original series, I do see at the end of the day what does sell a streaming service like Disney Plus is really compelling original content. So yeah, so we'll have to see how it goes for HBO Max. And I'm also interested in seeing what are the other movie studios going to do. I imagine they're also that studios like Disney and Paramount are also going to come out with their own announcements at some point in terms of how they're going to release their movies in 2022. Even though Disney, they just announced that they're going to release movies like Cruella and Black Widow on Disney Plus with Premiere Access. I think they're also releasing them in theaters at the exact same time. But since they're still delaying a lot of their movies, and there's still a lot of movies under Disney that are still scheduled to be released in theaters, it's just that it remains to be seen, especially due to the pandemic. I'd be really curious to see if Disney and Paramount are going to have their own announcements. I mean, the announcement coming out of Warner Brothers kind of reminds me of what recently happened with DreamWorks, where I think this also affected Universal movies too, at least with AMC, where they shortened the theatrical release window, and they didn't just release movies like The Crew's A New Age on like Peacock at the same time as they did in theaters. Instead, it took, I would say, about a month or so for movies like that to reach PVOD services. So it sort of reminds me of what's been going on with Universal personally. But let me know down below what you personally think of the announcement from Warner. Are you interested in seeing movies back in theaters in 2022? Leave all those thoughts down below. Until next time, this has been Blood Moon Bobby, and thank you all for watching. Hi everyone, thanks for watching this Blood Moon Bobby video. Like and share the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel to see more of my videos and ring the bell to be notified about my latest uploads. Don't forget to follow me on social media for my latest opinions and video updates. I hope to see you next time.